The first time Donovan held the elevator door open, he wasn't thinking about changing his life, he was just trying not to be late for picking up his daughter from after-school care. Again, hold that please. He called, jogging the last few steps across the marble-tiled lobby of Westfield Tower, where he had just finished cleaning offices on the 22nd floor. His work boots squeaked against the polished surface as he slid to a stop, one hand catching the door before it closed. "Thank you," said a soft voice as Lucas stepped into the elevator, breathing hard. He looked up and momentarily forgot how to speak. The woman standing in the corner wore a tailored charcoal suit that probably cost more than his monthly rent. Her dark hair was pulled back in a sleek bun, and she held a leather portfolio in one hand while scrolling through her phone with the other. "No problem," Lucas finally managed, pressing the lobby button that was already lit. He shifted his weight, suddenly conscious of his worn janitor's uniform and the cleaning supplies he'd forgotten to return to the maintenance closet. The small bottle of glass cleaner was still tucked into his back pocket. The woman glanced up from her phone, and Lucas found himself looking into the most striking hazel eyes he'd ever seen. They crinkled slightly at the corners when she smiled. "Long day?" she asked. Lucas checked his watch, 5:27 p.m. "Getting longer by the minute," he admitted. "I've got to pick up my daughter by 6 and the bus runs late this time of day." The woman nodded, her expression softening. "Kids have a way of keeping us on our toes." "That they do. Lily's 6, going on 16, I swear." Lucas smiled despite his fatigue. Talking about his daughter always lifted his spirits. The elevator lurched suddenly. The lights flickered, and then everything stopped. Lucas and the woman looked at each other in alarm as the emergency lights came on, bathing them in a dim amber glow. "You've got to be kidding me," Lucas muttered, jabbing at the lobby button repeatedly before trying the emergency call button. A crackly voice answered, informing them that maintenance was aware of the issue and working to resolve it, but it might take some time. Lucas ran his hand through his dark hair. "Perfect, just perfect." The woman put her phone away. "I'm Sophia, by the way, Sophia Parker." Donovan, he replied, shaking her outstretched hand. Her grip was firm, confident. "Sorry about this. I'm sure you have important places to be." Sophia leaned against the elevator wall. "Nothing that can't wait. Your daughter, though, is there someone who can get her?" Lucas shook his head. "It's just me and Lily. Her mom left when she was 2. He didn't know why he was sharing this with a stranger, especially one who clearly moved in very different circles than his own. But something about being stuck in an elevator seemed to strip away the usual barriers. "I'm sorry to hear that," Sophia said, and she sounded genuinely concerned. "Do you have her school's number? Maybe we can call them." Lucas pulled out his phone, an old model with a cracked screen, and dialed the after-school program. After explaining the situation, the coordinator assured him they would keep Lily until he could arrive, though there would be an additional late fee. "Thank you," Lucas said, hanging up. "That's one problem sort of solved, though the late fee is another $20 I don't have." Sophia tilted her head. "You work in the building, janitorial services," Lucas confirmed. "Not the career I planned on, but it pays the bills. Most of them anyway." He wasn't sure why he was being so honest with this woman. Maybe it was the fact that they'd likely never see each other again after this elevator ride. "What did you want to do before?" Sophia gestured vaguely. "I was in culinary school when my ex got pregnant, dropped out to work full-time, figured I'd go back someday, but..." Lucas shrugged. "Life happens. You cook. When I have the time and ingredients, yeah, nothing fancy, but Lily says my mac and cheese is legendary." He smiled at the memory of his daughter's enthusiastic description. "High praise from a 6-year-old, Sophia remarked, returning his smile. There was something about her that seemed both refined and approachable at the same time. "What about you?" Lucas asked. "What brings you to Westfield Tower at rush hour?" "Business meeting," Sophia replied. "I was looking at potentially acquiring office space here." Before Lucas could respond, the elevator shuddered back to life. The regular lights flickered on and they began their descent to the lobby. "Well, that's a relief," he said, checking his watch again. If he hurried, he might still make it to Lily without too much of a late fee. When they reached the lobby, Lucas held the door open for Sophia. It was nice meeting you despite the circumstances, he said. She paused, seeming to consider something. Is the school far? I have a car and driver waiting. I could give you a ride. Lucas blinked in surprise. That's really kind, but I couldn't impose. It's no imposition, Sophia insisted. And it sounds like time is of the essence. Before Lucas could decline again, she was walking toward the building's entrance, clearly expecting him to follow. Against his better judgment, and with the thought of Lily waiting at school, he did. Outside, a sleek black car idled at the curb. The driver, a man in a dark suit, opened the door as they approached. James, we need to make a stop before heading back to the office, Sophia said, sliding into the back seat. Lucas hesitated before getting in beside her. The leather interior smelled expensive, and he was acutely aware of his work clothes and the lingering scent of cleaning products. Where to? James asked, his voice professional and neutral. Lucas gave the address of Lily's school, still feeling slightly dazed by the turn of events. As the car pulled smoothly into traffic, he turned to Sophia. Thank you for this. Really. She waved away his thanks. Consider it an apology from the universe for the elevator incident. The drive took less than 15 minutes, far quicker than the bus would have been. When they arrived at Sunshine Elementary, Lucas started to get out. Would you like me to wait? Sophia asked. Oh, that's not necessary. We can walk home from here. It's not far. He paused. Thanks again for the ride. Something flickered in Sophia's eyes, disappointment perhaps, but she nodded. It was nice meeting you, Lucas Donovan. You too, Sophia Parker. As Lucas walked into the school, he found himself glancing back at the black car, still idling by the curb. There was something about Sophia that intrigued him, but he quickly dismissed the thought. Women like her didn't mix with men like him, single dads working paycheck to paycheck. Inside, he found Lily sitting at a table, drawing with intense concentration. Her dark hair, the same shade as his, was pulled into slightly lopsided pigtails, and her tongue poked out of the corner of her mouth as she worked. Hey, Lillipad, he said softly. She looked up, her face brightening. Daddy, you're late. I know, honey, I got stuck in an elevator. Lily's eyes widened. Really? Like in that movie we watched, sort of, but less dramatic. No climbing through hatches, he said, helping her gather her things. A nice lady gave me a ride here so I could get to you faster. Is she your girlfriend? Lily asked with the blunt curiosity of a 6-year-old. Lucas laughed. No, just someone being kind. Come on, let's get home and figure out dinner. As they stepped outside, Lucas was surprised to see the black car still waiting. The back window rolled down, revealing Sophia's face. Everything okay? She asked. Yes, all good. This is Lily. Lily waved enthusiastically. Hi, are you my dad's new friend? I'm Lily, I'm 6. Sophia smiled warmly. Hello, Lily, I'm Sophia, and yes, I suppose I am your dad's new friend. Lucas felt his cheeks warm. We were just heading home. How about dinner? Sophia suggested. To properly thank you for holding the elevator earlier. Lucas started to decline, but Lily tugged on his hand. Please, Daddy, I'm starving. Looking at his daughter's hopeful face and then back at Sophia's gentle smile, Lucas found himself nodding. That would be nice, thank you. They climbed into the car, Lily immediately launching into a detailed account of her day at school. Lucas watched in amazement as Sophia listened attentively, asking questions and seeming genuinely interested in the saga of the classroom pet hamster. Where would you like to go? Sophia asked when Lily paused for breath. Lucas hesitated, thinking of his worn uniform and limited funds. Maybe somewhere casual. We're not exactly dressed for fine dining. I know a place, Sophia said to James. The Corner Bistro on Maple Street. The restaurant turned out to be a cozy neighborhood place with a relaxed atmosphere. As they settled into a booth, Lucas realized with relief that he wouldn't look too out of place here. The menu, when he sneaked a glance at the prices, was more reasonable than he'd feared, though still a splurge by his standards. They have the best tomato soup here, Sophia said. And Lily, I bet you'd like their grilled cheese. With the crusts cut off, Lily asked seriously. I'm sure they can manage that, Sophia replied with equal seriousness. Throughout dinner, Lucas found himself increasingly drawn to Sophia. She spoke to Lily as if the child's opinions mattered, never talking down to her. and she asked Lucas about his life with genuine interest, listening carefully to his responses. "So you want to be a chef someday?" she asked as they shared a chocolate dessert. Lucas nodded. That was the plan. "I still play around with recipes when I can, but professional kitchens aren't exactly compatible with single parenthood. The hours are brutal." "What kind of food do you like to cook?" "Comfort food, mostly. Simple things done well," he smiled ruefully. "Though these days, it's whatever I can make quickly after work that Lily will actually eat." "He makes awesome pancakes," Lily chimed in, "with faces on them." "That sounds delightful," Sophia said, her eyes meeting Lucas's over the table. There was something in her gaze that made his heart beat a little faster. When the check came, Lucas reached for it automatically, but Sophia was quicker. "This is my treat, remember?" she said gently. Lucas felt a flare of pride, but he swallowed it. This wasn't about his ego, it was about accepting kindness when it was offered. "Thank you. It's been a really nice evening." After dinner, Sophia's car dropped them at their apartment building, a modest complex in a working-class neighborhood. Lucas felt self-conscious as the sleek vehicle pulled up outside, but Sophia showed no reaction to their humble surroundings. "Thank you for dinner," Lucas said as Lily yawned beside him, "and for the ride. It was unexpected but appreciated." Sophia hesitated, then pulled out a business card. "Maybe we could do this again sometime, all three of us." Lucas took the card, surprised by the offer. "I'd like that." "Good night, Lucas. Good night, Lily." "Night, Sophia," Lily called, waving until the car disappeared around the corner. As Lucas tucked his daughter into bed that night, she asked, "Is Sophia rich, Daddy? Her car was fancy." Lucas thought about the tailored suit, the chauffeur, the way she'd handled the dinner check without a second glance. "I think she probably is, Lilipad. She's nice and pretty." "You smiled a lot with her, out of the mouths of babes. She is nice, and yes, she's pretty too. You should be her boyfriend." Lucas laughed softly. "It's not that simple, honey." "Why not? Why not indeed? Because they came from different worlds. Because women like Sophia Parker didn't end up with janitors who could barely make rent. Because fairy tales didn't happen in real life. Get some sleep, Lily. School tomorrow." Later, lying in his own bed, Lucas looked at the business card Sophia had given him. It was elegant, minimalist. Sophia Parker, CEO, Parker Innovations. A phone number and email were the only other information. CEO. Lucas turned the card over in his fingers, wondering what exactly Parker Innovations did and just how successful it was. Successful enough for a car and driver, clearly. He set the card on his nightstand, telling himself he probably wouldn't call. Their worlds were too different, but the next morning, as he dropped Lily off at school, his phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. "Good morning, Lucas. I hope this isn't too forward, but I enjoyed our impromptu dinner last night. Would you and Lily be free this weekend? There's a children's festival at the Botanical Gardens I thought she might enjoy." Sophia, Lucas stared at his phone, a smile spreading across his face despite his reservations. He texted back, "Good morning. Not too forward at all. We'd love to join you. Lily's already asking when she'll see you again." The reply came almost immediately, "Wonderful. Saturday at 10, I can pick you up." 10 is perfect, but we can meet you there, no need to go out of your way. "It's no trouble, I'll see you Saturday." Lucas pocketed his phone, feeling a mix of excitement and trepidation. Was this a date, a friendly outing? He wasn't sure, but he was looking forward to finding out. The rest of the week passed in a blur of work, school drop-offs, and household chores. Lucas found himself thinking about Sophia at odd moments while mopping floors at Westfield Tower, while making Lily's lunch, while folding laundry late at night. There was something about her that had gotten under his skin. Saturday morning arrived sunny and clear. Lucas dressed with more care than usual, choosing his least worn jeans and a blue button-down shirt that Lily once said made his eyes look like the sky. He helped Lily into a flowery dress she insisted was perfect for a garden visit. At precisely 10 a.m., the black car pulled up outside their apartment. This time, Sophia got out to greet them. She wore white jeans and a simple green blouse, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked younger, more relaxed than she had in the elevator. "Good morning." She called, smiling widely. Ready for an adventure, Lily ran to her, all excitement and energy. I'm ready. Daddy says there might be butterflies. There's a whole butterfly pavilion, Sophia confirmed, and a maze and music and craft stations. The day was magical. The botanical gardens had been transformed for the children's festival, with activity stations scattered throughout the grounds. Lily darted from one to the next, making flower crowns, planting seeds in small pots to take home, and standing in awe inside the butterfly pavilion as colorful wings fluttered around her. Lucas and Sophia followed, talking easily as they watched Lily explore. He learned that Parker Innovations was a technology company specializing in sustainable energy solutions that Sophia had built from the ground up over the past decade. She learned that he'd grown up in a small town upstate, the son of a mechanic and a nurse, and had moved to the city to pursue his culinary dreams before life took an unexpected turn. "Do you regret it?" Sophia asked as they sat on a bench, watching Lily navigate the garden maze. How things turned out, Lucas considered the question seriously. "I regret not finishing school sometimes. I regret that Lily's mom decided parenthood wasn't for her." He watched his daughter's dark head bobbing above the maze hedges. "But I could never regret Lily. She's the best thing in my life." Sophia's hand found his on the bench between them. "She's lucky to have you." The touch of her fingers against his sent a current through Lucas's body. He turned his hand over, and their fingers intertwined naturally. They sat like that, watching Lily, neither commenting on the connection but both acutely aware of it. The day ended with ice cream cones and tired feet. Lily fell asleep in the car on the way home, her head resting against Lucas's arm, flower crown slightly askew on her dark curls. "Thank you for today," Lucas said softly. "It was perfect. It was, wasn't it?" Sophia looked at Lily's sleeping form with tenderness. "She's an amazing little girl. Would you?" Lucas hesitated. "Would you like to come up for coffee or tea when we get back?" Sophia's smile was warm. "I'd like that very much." After carrying Lily inside and tucking her into bed, Lucas found himself in the unfamiliar position of entertaining a guest in his modest apartment. He was conscious of the mismatched furniture, the slight peeling of wallpaper in one corner, the general smallness of the space compared to what Sophia must be used to. But if she noticed these things, she gave no sign. She accepted a mug of coffee and settled comfortably on his sofa, kicking off her shoes and tucking her feet beneath her. "This is nice," she said, looking around. "It feels like a home." "It's not much," Lucas admitted, sitting beside her, "but we make it work." "It's lovely," Sophia insisted. Then after a pause, "Lucas, can I ask you something?" "Of course. Does it bother you that I'm—" She gestured vaguely. "A CEO, successful," Lucas supplied. "Rich," she nodded, looking unusually vulnerable. Lucas took a sip of his coffee, considering. "It's intimidating," he admitted. "You live in a world I know nothing about, but no, it doesn't bother me, should it? Some men find it threatening." "I'm not threatened by your success, Sophia, I'm impressed by it." He set his mug down. "Does it bother you that I'm a janitor raising a 6-year-old on my own?" "Not in the slightest," she said immediately. "I'm impressed by you too." The air between them seemed to thicken with unspoken possibilities. Lucas leaned forward slightly and Sophia met him halfway. Their first kiss was gentle, questioning. The second was not. When they finally pulled apart, both slightly breathless, Sophia's eyes were shining. "I should go," she said softly, "but I'd like to see you again, both of you. I'd like that too." Over the following weeks, Sophia became a regular presence in their lives. She joined them for movie nights in their apartment, bringing takeout from restaurants Lucas could never afford. She attended Lily's school play, sitting beside Lucas and cheering just as loudly as he did when Lily delivered her one line perfectly. She even helped with bath time one evening when Lucas had a splitting headache, reading Lily's stories until she fell asleep. Lucas cooked for her when he could, simple but heartfelt meals that she declared better than any restaurant. They talked for hours after Lily went to bed, about everything and nothing, their childhoods, their dreams, their fears. He learned that behind her success, Sophia was sometimes lonely, that she'd built her company at the expense of personal relationships, that she'd never imagined herself as a potential mother until she met Lily. The question of their different financial situations hovered unspoken between them. Lucas was proud but not foolish. He accepted Sophia's generosity toward Lily while insisting on contributing what he could to their outings. Sophia, for her part, seemed to understand his need for dignity and never made him feel like a charity case. One Saturday morning, about 2 months after they'd met, Lucas was making pancakes with faces, at Lily's insistence when Sophia arrived for their planned trip to the zoo. "Perfect timing," he called from the kitchen. "Pancakes are almost ready." Sophia appeared in the doorway, looking uncharacteristically nervous. "Lucas, before breakfast, could I talk to you for a minute?" Privately, concerned by her tone, Lucas turned off the stove and followed her into the living room, leaving Lily setting the table. "Is everything okay?" he asked. Sophia took a deep breath. "I've been offered an opportunity, a major contract in Seattle. It would mean relocating there for at least a year to oversee the project's implementation." Lucas felt his heart sink. "Seattle, that's far?" "Yes, and I've been thinking about it non-stop." She took his hands in hers. "I want you and Lily to come with me." Lucas blinked in surprise. "To Seattle? I know it's a lot to ask. Lily would need to change schools, you'd need to find new work. Sophia, I can't just uproot Lily on a whim, and what happens after the year is up? We come back here and pick up where we left off, or we stay there or go somewhere else entirely." She squeezed his hands. "Lucas, I'm not asking you to follow me around the country indefinitely. I'm asking you to consider building a life with me, starting in Seattle." The weight of what she was proposing hit him. "Are you saying?" "I'm saying I've fallen in love with you, Lucas Donovan, with both of you, and I don't want to go to Seattle without you." Lucas felt a surge of emotions: joy, fear, hope, uncertainty. "Sophia, I love you too. But this is a massive decision. I can't just—" "There's more," she interrupted gently. "I've been working on something, a project of my own." She pulled out her tablet and opened a document. "There's a small restaurant space for lease near the apartment I've been looking at in Seattle. It needs renovation, but it has potential." Lucas looked at the photos. She showed him a charming storefront with large windows, an open kitchen area, space for perhaps 15 tables. "I'm not following." "I thought maybe you could open your own place, something small, manageable. Comfort food like you've always wanted to make." She spoke quickly now, as if afraid he'd interrupt. "The hours would be whatever you set so you could still be there for Lily. I know a few investors who'd be interested, and of course I'd—" "Wait." Lucas held up a hand. "You want to set me up with a restaurant?" Sophia's expression fell slightly. "Not set you up, invest in your talent, help you achieve what you had to put on hold." She hesitated. "Is that offensive?" Lucas ran a hand through his hair, processing. "It's not offensive, it's overwhelming." "Sophia, that's a huge investment. In something I believe in," she said firmly. "In someone I believe in." Lucas looked at the photos again, allowing himself a moment to imagine it his own restaurant, cooking the food he loved, setting hours that would let him be both chef and father. It was the dream he'd abandoned years ago. "What does Daddy get to imagine?" Lily's voice came from the doorway. She stood watching them curiously, still holding silverware for the breakfast table. Sophia glanced at Lucas, who nodded slightly. "How would you feel about an adventure, Lily?" she asked. "About going to a new city, seeing new things, like a vacation, like moving," Lucas clarified, watching his daughter carefully. "To Seattle, it's very far from here." Lily considered this seriously. "Would you be there, Daddy?" "Yes, of course." "Would Sophia be there too?" Sophia's eyes met Lucas's over Lily's head. "Yes," she said softly. "I would be there too." Lily nodded decisively. "Then it's okay. Can I bring my stuffed animals?" Lucas laughed, some of the tension breaking. "Yes, Lilipad, you can bring your stuffed animals. Good, can we have pancakes now?" "I'm starving." As Lily scampered back to the kitchen, Lucas turned to Sophia. "I'm not saying yes yet. This is a lot to process, but I'm not saying no either." Sophia's smile was radiant. "That's all I'm asking for, a chance to figure out if this could work." "There's one condition," Lucas said, his voice turning serious. "Name it." "If we do this, if we come to Seattle, I want to do the restaurant right. I'll accept investment, but it has to be a proper business arrangement. I need to know I earned it." Sophia nodded, understanding in her eyes. "Absolutely, whatever terms make you comfortable. And one more thing." Lucas stepped closer, cupping her face in his hands. "I love you, Sophia Parker. That doesn't change whether we're in Seattle or here or anywhere else." Her eyes glistened with unshed tears. I love you too. 6 months later, Lucas stood in the center of a nearly finished restaurant space in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. The renovation had taken longer than expected, but the results were worth the wait. Warm wood tables filled the dining area, each one hand-selected by Lucas himself. The open kitchen gleamed with new equipment, and the menu board displayed a carefully curated selection of elevated comfort foods. "What do you think?" Sophia asked, coming to stand beside him. "Will you be ready for the soft opening next week?" Lucas surveyed his space with pride. "I think we're right on track." Their new life in Seattle had fallen into place with surprising ease. Lily had adapted quickly, making friends at her new school and declaring their apartment a spacious 3-bedroom that Lucas had initially protested was too extravagant, the best place ever. Especially after Sophia had moved in 2 months ago, bringing warmth and laughter to fill every corner. The restaurant, which they'd named Lily's Comfort, had become Lucas's passion project. He'd insisted on earning his role, working with the investors Sophia had introduced him to, developing a business plan, and putting in sweat equity during the renovation. Sophia had respected his need for independence while supporting his vision every step of the way. As if on cue, the front door opened and Lily burst in, followed by Maria, Sophia's assistant who had picked her up from school. "Daddy, Sophia," she called, rushing toward them. "Look what I made in art class." She proudly displayed a colorful drawing of 3 figures holding hands in front of what was clearly meant to be the restaurant. "It's us," she explained unnecessarily. "In front of Lily's Comfort. That's you, Daddy, and that's Sophia, and that's me in the middle." Lucas knelt down to hug her. "It's perfect, Lilipad. We'll frame it and put it right by the entrance." "Really?" Lily's eyes widened. "Absolutely," Sophia confirmed. "Every restaurant needs artwork from its namesake." As Lily explored the space, excitedly examining every corner, Sophia slipped her hand into Lucas's. "Any regrets?" she asked softly. Lucas watched his daughter, then looked at the woman beside him, and finally at the restaurant taking shape around them. Not a single one. That evening, after Lily was asleep, Lucas and Sophia sat on their balcony overlooking the city lights. He reached into his pocket, his fingers closing around the small velvet box he'd been carrying for days, waiting for the perfect moment. "Do you remember the first day we met?" he asked. Sophia smiled, leaning against his shoulder. "In the elevator, of course." "I held the door open because I was running late, not because I was being particularly chivalrous." "I know," she laughed. "You looked absolutely frantic. And now here we are." Lucas took a deep breath and pulled out the box, opening it to reveal a simple but elegant diamond ring. "I was going to wait until after the restaurant opening, but I don't want to wait anymore. Sophia Parker, will you marry me?" Sophia's eyes filled with tears as she nodded. "Yes, Lucas, yes." As he slipped the ring onto her finger, Lucas thought about how drastically his life had changed in the months since he'd held an elevator door open for a stranger. From struggling single dad to soon-to-be restaurant owner and husband. It wasn't the life he'd planned, but it was better than anything he could have imagined. "What are you thinking?" Sophia asked, admiring the ring on her finger. "I'm thinking that sometimes life gives you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it," Lucas replied, pulling her close. "Even if it arrives in an elevator." Sophia laughed and kissed him under the Seattle stars, both of them knowing that their story, improbable as it had seemed at the start, was just beginning.